understanding. I like that. I like, you know, every time I hear somebody that says health and wellness, I always feel like I need to schedule an appointment immediately. Because I can
Please do, yes. And I'm working on my medical board exams right now. So I'm giving, 50 hours of pro bono, you know, just to meet that requirement. So.
sign me up. Sign me up. Good morning. There are tons of people that are still logging in. We should have a great group.
Good morning. My name is Sally D'Angelo. I own a Lakeshore Incorporated, and been in business 38 years. And I probably wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the pandemic. Just because every time I want to apply for a different grant, what happens is that you have to become certified by this organization. I wanted to check it out and see what it is. I can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Vaughn.
There's also an echo. Does anyone else hear an echo?
Yes. There is an echo. See if we can figure that out. Is anyone on their phone and on their computer at the same time? Sometimes that can be a reason.
Okay, sounds like it's gone.
Anyways, I'm glad for this organization to be existing. I just been in business 38 years and probably wouldn't have come across it necessarily because I've been as successful and haven't really needed any aid from anyone. And so I probably wouldn't have come across it if we weren't in such a terrible place right now. So financially for, I think, all business owners. So everybody on this little screen here, you know, I think we're all probably in some kind of, like Jerry Seinfeld this morning, he said he thinks the planet is in detention. And when we get out of it, hopefully we'll all be better. So,
you know, that's a great point, Sally, and thank you for sharing that. I was on a call earlier this week, and one of the things that we talked about, or somebody mentioned on the call, is this entire situation that's impacted our world, the city in our country, has at the very least allowed the earth to heal itself. And we're starting to see ozone layers close up. We're starting to see the water become a little bit more pure and healthy, aquatic life kind of swimming around or whatever. So if nothing else, to your point, hopefully it'll be a better place for everyone throughout the entire globe once we come back into this thing. So that's great. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to introduce themselves and their company?
So I'm John Aaron, founder of Aeronetics, courtesy of Renee at the Urban League. I am an EDGE certified company in Ohio. I'm certifying the constant intrusions and the unknown worker in your network. So I'm currently seeking a colleague of 3 companies for the NASA SOUP schedule, so I can hop on NASA SOUP 5. Just why I'm here today. And Vaughn, it's good to see you, and these other folks I recognize.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing it. That's great. Did everybody hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. Is there anyone else that would like to introduce themselves and their company? And you can introduce your country too, if you like.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Hasiba Makour, and I own a tutoring company as well as an advanced technology education company. So I own 2 companies. One is for-profit and the other one is for non-profit. The first one is Sigma Tutoring, LLC. We do K-12 tutoring in math, science, and English. And the other one is a non-profit, and we train in automation and high-tech technology. I am from Algeria. I immigrated in 2002, and I was always dreaming of the American dream And finally, I think I got it. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. And what I need help with, getting into schools. With the pandemic, we had to close our center, and I lost a lot. And now I'm thinking of another strategy is to be in school. So if schools can host us or we can send our teachers there, we have a great strategy, and all of our students showed improvement. Yeah.
That's a great story. It really is, and thanks for sharing that. Make sure we have your information because I'm sure there's somebody on the call, including the Minority Business Assistance Center, that we do have relationships with many of the schools and school systems and universities as well. So make sure that we have your information and we can try and get you plugged in. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi, everybody. I'm Judith Eugene, and I have two businesses, Loving Hands Yoga, Reiki, and Wellness, where I work with people of all ages on physical, mental, and emotional health. And I also do workplace wellness programs. So I have spoken at a lot of colleges and universities and businesses around Cleveland pre-pandemic. Luckily, things have been able to pivot a little bit and go online. And my second business is the Loving Hands group, where we teach classes and activities for senior adults and people with disabilities. And that business completely shut down back in March because we were going into nursing homes and disability centers. So that's been a little tough, and it's been hard for them to scramble and go on Zoom. So I've been getting the emails from the Minority Business Assistance Center and wondering now if this might be just a next phase for my companies of seeing how we might serve the government with what I do and what my contractors do.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you make some great points. You know, the certifications that we do are not just to assist with government contracts, but the certifications are recognized by all organizations that are looking for MBEs, WBEs, and other types of organizations. It's also, and you'll hear this from some of the presenters, that the certifications can serve as a credential or a golden key, if you will, to unlock certain opportunities that if you're not certified, you won't have an opportunity to unlock those doors. So, but thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judith,
Also
good to see you.
Hi, Richard.
I'm sorry, is there anyone else that would like to introduce themselves and their company?
Yes.
Hi.
Darren Murdoch. Oh, you go ahead, ma'am.
Oh, my name is Carol Allen. I came in late. I apologize.
Carol?
I'm kind of like just getting off the ground, so I don't really consider myself as having a company yet, but it's called Artistry Forever, and it really promotes the arts and paintings and art world. So I'm looking to try and see if I can get some kind of, I don't know if it would be called capital or something, to just get my feet wet to see how everything is. Like this Saturday, I have an event show that I've been allowed to get into in Solon so that I can actually showcase some of my work. So that's like my first time of getting my feet wet out there and see what it's like.
Sure.
So I'm new to the scene.
Well, welcome, Carol. Congratulations on taking the leap of faith and becoming an entrepreneur. You're in good company. And
Thank
we
you.
have some resources to get you plugged in and get you connected. So make sure we have your information, okay?
Thank you, yes.
All right. Again, for those that are just logging in, my name is Vaughn Johnson. I am the director of the Minority Business Assistance Center located at the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. And I'm joined this morning by our co-hosts. And I don't want to give it all away. I know April's going to do an introduction, but I'm joined by my, in addition to our co-hosts, Richard Brown, who is our business advisor, and April Needham, who is our program coordinator and convener for these workshops this morning. And we definitely have a special treat for this morning. I also like to take this opportunity while people are still logging in before we start to give business owners and entrepreneurs an opportunity to introduce themselves and their company, to talk a little bit about what they do, practice your elevator pitch, or give us your elevator pitch if you have one. And that way it gives us an opportunity to learn more about your business and what you do. We get opportunities that come across our desk literally every single day for RFPs, RFQs, bids, major corporations looking and seeking to partner with women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, and other types of organizations. So the more we know about your business and what you do, the better we can position ourselves to assist you. We've also found that at this time, many business owners can build collaborations and synergies with other people that are on the call. So in saying all of that, I want to throw out a question that has to do with an elevator pitch or brand. Most people have heard of the Disney Corporation. Everybody heard of Disney? Let me see your hand. You've heard of Disney? I have. I love Disney. You know about Disney. Tell me, if you can, what Disney sells. What does Disney sell?
Happiness.
The phone number for brother.
Experience.
Yes, all those are right. They actually use one word to summarize their brand and what they sell. And those are good answers. Those are good answers.
Phone numbers on the brother printer.
Anybody else want to take a shot at it, what Disney actually sells?
I would say
Dreams.
Dreams. That's a good point.
Write it down.
Anybody else?
Happiness.
Everything.
Happiness? Yeah. We're getting warmer. What was that?
Hope.
Hope. Yes, that's one of them.
Empowerment.
Empowerment. That's right. That's one of them. Okay, so I'll share with you. So I had the privilege of being a graduate of the Disney Institute, and I actually did that program twice. And what Disney says that they sell, and it's actually in their marketing, their branding, in their elevator pitch, is all those words that everybody said, they're all correct, but they have summarized it into one word. Disney sells magic. So you're going to have a, excuse me, a magical experience and all the other things that you talked about. So as you are developing your elevator pitch, as you're thinking about what your company does and your brand and your positioning, think about what it is that you offer, what it is that you sell that differentiates you from some of your competitors in the marketplace. All right, so now I have a public service announcement from the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. This is a commercial. Make sure that you are counted in the census, and please make sure that you register to vote. Regardless of who you vote for, please register and vote. Okay, that's my commercial. Back to our regularly scheduled program. So if there is a business owner, before we get started in 10 minutes, that would like to share about their company, please introduce yourself and your company.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Beverly Malone. I'm CEO and principal of Go Strategies Group. We make large-scale, sustainable, and inclusive change management possible by applying the principles of universal design. I will put my contact information in the chat. Nice to meet all of you. And Judith, I also work in the disability space, so I like to hear what you had to say.
Thank you for that, Beverly. So Beverly, tell me, who's your ideal client?
I work with many nonprofits and coalitions, and foundations.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, and good morning. Okay, anybody else? We've got about 9 minutes before we start.
My name is Catherine O'Connell. I own North Coast Genealogy, LLC, and I do family research for banks and lawyers to help them solve their legal research problems.
That's interesting. That is really interesting. Thank you very much for sharing. How long have you been doing that, Catherine?
About 5 years. I just started my own business this year, and I've been signing up with the banks, and I realized they all want certification. So I was interested in what you had to offer today, because that seems like a big part of what they want.
Thank you. Do you do anything in the credit union space?
If they need me to find somebody, so sometimes what happens is someone will die without a will, and they need to look for the person who owns the bank account or things like that, and I will locate the family member for that. So it's a very specialized, little tiny niche, but I can work for basically any bank or lawyer that needs help locating people.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Make sure we have your information, okay? All right. Anyone else?
Yes. So my name is Darren Murdoch. My company name is Iconic Custom Era. So what I do is I create epoxy instead of replacing. You repair your floors or countertops. Something like this is a border sample that I kind of do. I got my certifications out in Washington State last year. I tried to get my MBE last year done, but then I started working for the CDC Metro West, and my year term came up, so I'm finally trying to pursue my dreams.
Okay, thank you. So is that a commercial application, or who are your clients?
So I want it to be commercial and residential.
Okay. Okay. Well, great. Thanks for joining us and thanks for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Please introduce yourself and your company.
Hello, everyone. My name is Selena Davis. I own, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I own iShoePix LLC. I started it in June of this year. It's a production company, film, video. My first project is going to be Project Daisy. It's basically going to stem on mental health, depression, just a round table of stories between different people and how they're dealing with our issues of today and how they're going to like fix their life or help themselves or help other people with their past, experiences.
Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Selena. I appreciate it. Anyone else? We have about 6 minutes before we actually start.
Good morning. I'm Pamela Brooks.
Hi, Pamela.
Good morning. I'm a director with Paparazzi Accessories, and my company's name is Sassy Papa for 5. And I sell jewelry. What I like about it is making people smile. I love to make people look beautiful. And sometimes people can't afford it. And the price point is excellent, $5.
Wow.
But I give as much as I sell. I love to make people happy.
Well, thank you. I need to talk to you. I wanted to say too, today is my wedding anniversary and I need to find some jewelry. So
wonderful. I'm your girl.
Let's make sure we connect, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Anyone else? Please introduce yourself and your company. This is your opportunity.
Hi, my name is Anitra Humphrey. I am the co-owner of Co-Excellence, Inc. We are a medical coding and consultation and education company, and we are looking to help provide coding education to those interested in getting into the medical billing field.
That's really interesting. I actually saw and thank you for sharing that. I saw a documentary on coding in Africa, and it was in Nigeria, one of the fastest growing industries for a workforce was actually coding, and that is a really popular and growing industry, especially in underdeveloped or growing countries and emerging markets. So there may be an opportunity for you to even expand your footprint internationally. So keep that in mind.
Will do. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for sharing. Okay, we have about 4 minutes left. Maybe a chance for 1 or 2 more. Anybody? Introduce yourself and your company, please.
Hello,
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
You can go ahead.
Hi, my name is Daisy Solar, and I am with Daisy's Interpretation Services. I am from Lorain, Ohio. I recently started my company. Well, not recently, it's actually going to be a year now. On November of last year, I started my company. I am now going through my certification through CHI. So that's where I'm at.
Now, I'm sorry, what do you do?
I'm a Spanish interpreter,
Oh.
community interpreter.
Okay, okay. I need to ask you a question, but I don't know if I want to ask it in front of all these people.
Please don't put me on the spot.
I'm not. Okay, okay, look. My wife is Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Sometimes she speaks Spanish to me, and I don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
She said something to me one day that sounded like "cállate."
Okay.
I said, I said that to somebody before, and they wouldn't tell me. And hopefully, that's not something profane.
Well, no, that means
Shut up.
be quiet or shut up.
Oh, oh, oh. Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All these years, my wife's been telling me to shut up. Okay. All right. Thank you, Daisy.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to introduce themselves and their company?
Yes. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tammy. I have two businesses. I have a nonprofit. One is Pillars to Success. It's a youth court program in the state of Ohio. We follow the guidelines through the court. It's for youth with misdemeanor infractions. We offer mentoring services through them, as well as mental health counseling, any type of chemical dependency assistance, as well as nurturing parenting classes for the parents. We do family engagement. That's one of my businesses. And then I also have Velocity Consulting Group, which is a consulting business for businesses, helping them with finding resources to expand their businesses or make sure that their business is structured properly.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Make sure we have your information. Okay, there's 1 minute before we start, so I'll take one more. Is there anybody that would like to introduce themselves and their company? Going once. Going twice. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for joining us again. My name is Vaughn Johnson. I am the director of the Minority Business Assistance Center located at the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. I am joined this morning by my colleagues, April Needham, who is our program coordinator and convener for our workshop events, and Richard Brown, our business advisor. And I am going to turn it over to April, and she's going to give you some ground rules, and she's going to kick off our workshop for us. April?
Thank you, Vaughn. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I wanted to go over some ground rules before we get started. Because we have a big group here, can we please make sure that when someone is talking, that you have your microphone on mute? That would be greatly appreciated. And if you haven't done so already, as you can see, some people have already done so, please put in your company information in the chat box. We would love to hear from you, and everybody can collaborate with each other after this workshop is over. Also, if you have any questions during this course of this workshop, please feel free to write it in the chat box, and we'll make sure that it gets answered for you. Is there any questions about that before I get started? Perfect. So once again, my name is April Needham, and I'm the program coordinator here at the Minority Business Assistance Center. And I'm joined here with our director, Vaughn Johnson, and my colleague, business advisor, Richard Brown. At this pre-certification workshop, our presenters will talk to you about the certifications they offer and the requirements you need to help prepare you for certification. We also hold a 3-day certification lab series at the end of the month, where each presenter will walk you through the actual online certification application. Today, our workshop is co-hosted by the Economic and Community Development Institute and the Women's Business Center of Northern Ohio. We're very happy that they're here to join us today. And you will hear from some of the great things that they're doing in our communities to support women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, and small businesses in Ohio. You will also hear from 3 women-owned businesses today who will share some insights about why they chose to become certified and how their businesses are operating and have been impacted during the pandemic. So let me share with you some of what we do at MBAC. We have 4 key areas that we focus on, and they're called our 4 pillars. We do certifications, We want to ensure your business has the necessary certifications to bid on private and public contracts. We do contracts and procurement, and our job is to connect you with contract opportunities to grow your business. And we have resources and connections with organizations such as Metro Health, Case Western Reserve, Cleveland Clinic, and the City of Cleveland. We also do access to capital through bonding and loans. We have a number of lending partners we work with to ensure you have access to the much needed capital you need to grow your business. Oftentimes, business owners may win the contract, but find that they need additional capital to support that contract, and we're here to help. Our last and final pillar is technical and professional assistance. We are made up of a team with over 40 years of banking experience, and we want to support you as your experienced business advisor and certification expert, and we want to be your guiding hand to make sure you have everything you need to be successful. Additionally, at the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, we have a small business development center that focuses on startups and an entrepreneurship center that offers many programs such as Becoming Bankable, and we just launched our UBiz Loan Fund. Combined, our entrepreneurship center has over 100 years of experience, and we want to share that experience with you. So now at this time, I would like to welcome Jasmine Dixon. She is the ECDI Director of Lending and Capital Access for Northeast Ohio. Welcome, Jasmine. I saw her on here.
Should probably take myself off of mute first, right?
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. You know, we appreciate everything that you guys are doing, and we're very happy to be a part of it. I am the Director of Lending and Capital Access for our Northern Ohio market here at ECDI. I actually co-parent the market. I co-parent with Nicole Leotis, who is the Director of the Women's Business Center for Northern Ohio. And the two of us combined are responsible for growing the market and making sure that underserved entrepreneurs are able to get the resources that they need to start and grow. So there's our information at the bottom if anyone wants to reach out or has any questions. But today we really want to talk to you guys about the resources that we have available here at ECDI and how you can actually take advantage of that. So what can we do here what can ECDI and WBC do for you? So between the two organizations, ECDI being a microlender and the WBC being a technical assistance provider, training provider, and a host of other resources, we actually have been able to position ourselves as a one-stop shop. And so I am going to give you a little bit of background on ECDI and kind of, you know, what we do and where we stand in the ecosystem. And then later on, Nicole will tell you a little bit more about the WBC. So ECDI's mission is to invest in people to create measurable and enduring social and economic change. Although we are a micro lender, economic development is where is basically where our pain point is. So our goal is to position our communities to be able to grow economically and to make sure that those who do not have access to traditional resources have the ability to create entrepreneurship for themselves and for their family and to hopefully fill some of the income gaps that we see throughout America and throughout a lot of our neighborhoods. So ECDI is one of the top SBA microlenders in the country. We actually are the only SBA microlender here in the state of Ohio. We've been around since 2004. We are a U.S. Treasury designated community development financial institution. We specialize in providing affordable and responsible lending for all entrepreneurs. Our motto is to educate, invest, and innovate. So within that, we are able to provide entrepreneurial training, mentoring, and access to capital. And the thing is when we say all entrepreneurs, what we mean is regardless of stage that you're at in business. We have a lot of businesses that come to us in pre-revenue stage where they haven't even made a dollar, and they're able to get access to funding to actually start and grow their business. We've also been really instrumental in helping businesses that have been greatly impacted by COVID. Since March alone, we've tripled our loan output, because we noticed that the main concern for businesses impacted by COVID was cash flow. And so we wanted to do what we could to make sure that funds were readily available for them to access and for us to be able to respond to the emergency needs of our local businesses. So here at ECDI, there are really two main loans that we utilize through the SBA because we are SBA lenders, which means that we utilize various programs that are offered through SBA. And SBA stands for Small Business Administration. And so through the SBA, we're able to provide the microloan program. With that program, we're able to provide funding to startups and existing businesses. The core of what we do through the microloan program is to provide technical assistance. So we're never going to position it where we give you access to the money and then we kind of just say, hey, you're left to your own devices. No, we're here to make sure that you guys get the assistance that you need to actually start and grow. You're not in it alone. We want to see our business be successful. We want to see our businesses grow. We want to see job creation. So between our microloan program and our Community Advantage program, that is the core of what we do. The difference between the two is the Community Advantage program is actually guaranteed by the SBA, a portion. So a portion of the funding that a borrower would seek through that loan is backed up and kind of insured by the SBA. So we feel comfortable as a lender taking on that risk because we know, hey, worst case scenario, if this client were to default, the SBA has our back. And so we're able to do our job in providing that funding to you all because we feel as if we're being covered. And so a lot of people will come to us because they have credit challenges, or they're in the industries that the bank don't feel comfortable with, or once again, as I mentioned before, they're pre-revenue startup stage and the banks just don't feel comfortable taking on that risk. And so we're here to fill a very specific gap. And as I mentioned earlier, we now have a lot of COVID-related loans for existing businesses that have been directly impacted by COVID. Nicole, you can go next.
Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now let me introduce to you Nicole Aliatos. Did I pronounce your name right, Nicole?
It's close enough, but Liatis.
Okay, thank you so much. She is the director of the Women's Business Center of Northern Ohio.
Yes, thank you, April. So as Jasmine was saying, we have the model where we invest, educate, and innovate. And so we really do that through the education, through training, mentorship, and education. And the Women's Business Centers of Ohio, there's actually 3 Women's Business Centers in the state of Ohio. So Columbus is our headquarters, Cleveland, and then Cincinnati. And the Women's Business Center is part of a national network. So there's about 116 Women's Business Centers across the country. They just have to be tied to a nonprofit or a host. And so we're tied to ECDI, which is really helpful, as Jasmine was talking about. There's disparities with access to capital, and so we can kind of fill that gap and level that playing field. So the mission of the Women's Business Center is providing women with the tools and resources necessary to start or grow strong, sustainable businesses. And so we have an annual membership. It's an $80 annual membership. So if you think about it, it's about $7 a month. And it's for all entrepreneurs, not only women. We get that a lot. So we were federally legislated in the 80s. So we have to market to women, but men can join the Women's Business Center as well. And if a man is not comfortable saying they're part of the Women's Business Center, they can say they're part of the Business Incubation Center. So BIC, B-I-C. What's included in the annual membership is one-on-one business coaching. So myself, I do a lot of general business coaching. And so that's really, figuring out what your idea is, figuring out what your goals are, and creating an action plan. But an extension of our business coaching is the Professional Advisory Network. I'm kind of jumping down a little bit. And that's more of the targeted consultants that you'd work with. So if you needed assistance with legal, if you needed marketing and branding, HR and general business, as well as finance, so maybe you need to see an accountant or a CPA, we provide that. So we'll match you up with a volunteer at our center so you can get that targeted one-on-one coaching. And then also we have training classes. So every week we have workshops. It's really, we bring in a subject expert in various areas, whatever that we see is fit to the business owner. So we get feedback from our members of things maybe that they need assistance on. And then when we're fully in operation and opening and back to the new norm, you have access to the computer lab and Wi-Fi. There's printing services, a small co-working space that you can utilize. And then we also have networking events. And so I will say this, that there are a lot of tangible resources here at the Women's Business Center, and you get a lot for your money. But really what makes us so special is how we're able to foster a community of women together and be around like-minded individuals when you're, starting a business or growing a business. We all know that entrepreneurship can be a lonely road, so it's really great to connect with other individuals. Okay, so the WBC, we have a pandemic response. So Jasmine's saying that we had a lending response, but we also have one for technical assistance and training. So we have the COVID Resource Network, and it's basically what I just explained as PAN, but it's more, there's more consultants available. So there's bookkeeping, accounting, legal, HR, sales, acquisition, e-commerce, marketing. And if you're interested in, just fill out an interest form. It's wbcohio.org/CRN, and this is for businesses who have been impacted by COVID. And then we also have the Digital Connect. This won't come until the new year, and this is assisting 20 small businesses who have no online presence, and we'll get you an online presence. So a website built, we'll get you headshots, logo, branding, the whole 9 yards. So this is coming soon. Nothing is available on the website. It'll launch January 2021. And then our digital resources that we have is Initiate. It's an online platform, and there's modules for business owners. It's really a self-paced program where you can, if there's expert training videos and templates, and it just really helps enhance the one-on-one coaching that we offer. And this is the information to connect with us. We have ECDI statewide, there's ECDI Northern, and WBC North on all of the most popular social media channels. All right, so that's all that I have. And I think my next steps is to introduce Richard Brown from MBAC, and he will kick it off with our panel.
Before we move on, Nicole, I'm actually just going to take a quick little step back here and read off a question that we have in the chat box. Someone asked, it looked like the Cincinnati chapter was charging much more than $80. Is that possible, or maybe I was on the wrong site?
No, so it's statewide, and one of the things about the Women's Business Center, since we're all under the host, we're very streamlined. So $80 is across the market. So $80 membership in Cincinnati, $80 membership in Cleveland, $80 membership in Columbus.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Does anyone else have any questions for Nicole or Jasmine before we move on? Will the slides be made up?
Get money? I'm surprised.
Is someone asking a question? Okay, perfect. Okay, move on. Richard Brown, you can take it from here.
Thank you, April. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Richard Brown. I am a business advisor with the Minority Business Assistance Center, and I have the opportunity today to have a panel discussion with some of our business owners here, and I'm excited to announce them to you. We have, for our panel discussion, we have Tiwana Williams, we have Sheena Fain, and we have Miss Melinda Gonzalez. So I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about what they do in their business. And we'll start with Tiwana. Okay, Sheena.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, hi everyone, I'm Sheena. I am the founder and CEO of Guided Growth Consulting. We are a management consulting firm, and basically we help our clients remain competitive in their respective markets through three things that we do, which are continuous innovation, cost and process efficiency, and leadership development. And also happy Small Business Women's Month.
Thank you, Sheena. And also, Melinda, you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm Melinda Gonzalez. I'm the owner of All For You Cleaning Services. We supply residential and commercial cleaning needs, also the home of the Clorox Total 360 for disinfecting and sanitizing, as well as the Let It Shine program. The Let It Shine program is for aged out foster care youth that are aging out of foster care to help prepare them for life, get something on their resume, and help build their confidence.
Thank you, Melinda. Is Tiwana on the line? Are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
She was on mute before. There we go.
I'm sorry. I'm not the best Zoomer. Hi, everyone. My name is Tawana Scott Williams. I am the owner of Pearl Flower Catering. We are a full-service catering company servicing Northeast Ohio. We specialize in corporate events, nonprofit, and social events. And what is particularly relevant to this form is now we're doing contract catering.
Thank you, Tiwana. Okay, so I have a question for the group. Tell us what type of certifications you have with your business.
I'll go first. I am currently certified with OMSDC, the Ohio Minority Supplier Diversity Council, and also have certifications with the Sewer District, City of Cleveland, and Cuyahoga County.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll go next. So I am certified through the federal government. That's WOSB. I am certified through the state. That's MBE Edge. I'm also certified through the city. I'm certified through the county, and I am pending a national certification with WeBank and the sewer district.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm oh, good. Is somebody else on there or is it me?
It's your turn.
It's my turn. Okay, we have certifications in MBE, SBE, WBE, and Cuyahoga County.
Thank you, Belinda. I see all of you have certifications in a number of different areas. I mean, how has that benefited you on your business? And why do you feel it's necessary to get all those different certifications? So it's a two-part question.
I think for me, being certified definitely gives you a competitive advantage in your area, your field or expertise. There are a ton of chefs, a ton of caterers and restaurants, but not very many of them are certified. So when you have people, especially corporate entities who are looking for caterers, having the certification gives you validation, and it also gives them a way to locate and find you, because many times they won't come to you directly. They'll go to entities like MBAC, the Urban League, the Women's Business Center, and say, hey, do you have any caterers who happen to be certified? We're looking for food for a conference. Or for instance, the NFL draft is coming to Cleveland in 2021, and I've been contacted saying that my name was on the list as a certified minority caterer, and we want to make sure that some minority businesses get contracts for the NFL draft. So it definitely gives you an advantage, it gives you exposure, and it validates you.
Thank you. And I'm glad you mentioned about the NFL draft coming up.
So anyone out there, and don't, assume that your business is not necessarily a business that will qualify for a contract. You may think, oh, everything is pertaining to events, but they may need security, they may need cleaning services, they may need not only food, electrical, lights, things like that. So I would not discount or exclude a business just because you think it may not be, one relevant to that category.
And Tawana, if I could just chime in, since you mentioned the NFL draft in Cleveland next year, that document actually came across my desk. So it came from the National Football League and the Cleveland Browns, and they were reminding everyone that the NFL draft is going to be held in Cleveland next year. And they specifically reached out to us, exactly to your point, looking for certified businesses. And that was the primary criteria, that they only wanted to work with a business that was certified. And to your point, they actually had 30 different categories of companies they were looking for. Companies that provided fencing, that could build a stage, that provided chairs, that can do sound systems and lighting and electrical and general contractors and catering and janitorial, just a myriad of companies that can all be a part of that. But the overarching theme was you have to be certified. So even the National Football League and the Cleveland Browns understand, as well as you, everybody on the call understands the importance of being certified. So thank you for sharing and bringing that up, Tawana.
Thank you.
Okay, Melinda, I'll let you go next.
For me, I kind of went about it in a different angle. Of course, it just, brings you great pride as a woman and a minority business to be able to say that you have these certifications. For me, it was also for the youth that I'm helping, just kind of gives them something else to get their their ideas and their brains kind of working, and seeing that you could take your business to another level and people recognize you even as being what someone may consider just a cleaning lady, to be able to be recognized and appreciated for all the hard work and being a legit company. So I kind of went about it in a different angle. I've been up and running for 9 years. We just now recently got our certifications, so I can't really hit anything about how I benefited from it, but I'm sure it will along the way.
Thank you. And the fact that you saw the need to become certified, you saw it as a credential, and it's an opportunity for you. I mean, it opens up new opportunities for your business. So that's very important. So for business owners on the line to realize, it's a credential that, like someone said, one time before, it's like you're on the menu now. Before you weren't on the menu, but now you're on the menu.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. I mean, if you ever heard, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So it's kind of one of those type of things that when that opportunity do come across your desk, you're already ready for it. So it can't be another door being closed, and it gives minorities an opportunity to get out there.
Exactly. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right, Sheena, we'll hear from you now.
So I would really say one of the reasons why I chose to get certified was that coming from a corporate background, I understood the importance of being certified. So I was an executive before, and so I understood, how companies go about diversity and inclusion initiatives and bringing in small businesses. And so also with that, I also understood about like set aside opportunities that are available for smaller companies. And so that was really a game changer for me to be able to be competitive also with other organizations, and then also partnership.
Great, thank you. So how important is partnerships to you, Sheena?
Oh, partnerships are everything, especially during the pandemic. So last year, and I think I may have shared this story before, but there was a gentleman that I actually did some work for his organization and for his clientele. And so he got an opportunity to pitch his idea and to actually work with a national sporting team here in Cleveland, not the NFL. And so he decided to bring me along with him during his pitch and during his presentation. And so basically the reason why he selected me was that it gave him a competitive advantage over the competition that they were looking at. And so that's one of the things that I would stress to anyone who's thinking about getting a certification at all, is that partnership is the way to go. Being able to partner with someone who can complement what it is that you do, or even if you guys do the same business, it's extremely important to come together.
Thank you, Sheena. Would anyone else like to comment about partnerships? Tawana, would you like to say anything about that?
Absolutely. I think partnerships are key. I'm currently partnering with another food service provider on a large catering contract. I think it definitely gives you confidence. It builds your capacity where, a contract may seem large for your size company. It helps to give the contract holder, well, not contract holder, but the client confidence that you can execute the contract if you're partnering with another company. So partnership is key. And then again, to Shayna's point, being certified, again, sometimes that may be the key that will get you the contract over, someone else, and it may be a general requirement to get the contract in general. I've been told by clients, even before I had my certification. I was actually pushed into getting my certification. That when you're dealing with companies, and I'll just throw it out there, like Cleveland Clinic, they have a large supplier diversity program, and they want credit for every dollar they spend with minorities. So I kind of had a mindset initially like, well, you know, I want my work to speak for itself, whether I'm a minority or not. You know, you should use my services. But I do understand that they want credit for those dollars because they have to spend so many of them with minorities. So they didn't want to continue to spend with me. They liked my service. It wasn't personal. They wanted to continue to spend with me, but they wanted to get credit for that spend, and they could not get it until I was certified.
Thank you. That's a very key point. Melinda, would you like to say anything about partnerships?
I mean, pretty much what was already said. I mean, they're important. Whether you're the main person, you know, getting it, or you're just collabing with another company. Again, it just gives you another way to kind of get out there and get your name out there as a business. So you don't always have to be the one that kind of shines or takes over, or the main person, but definitely helping each other. And especially as minority businesses, for multiple different reasons, we should be collabing to help each other grow and get to the next level, no matter what or how.
Exactly.
And recognition, to be honest. As being amazing companies, I mean, unfortunately, you know, some of these companies are only looking at us because we are certified. That's unfortunate. However, when we do get that opportunity, it's about how we're doing business and how we're collabing with the right people at the right moment and getting our foot in the door, so they no longer think about us just because our certifications, but because we're amazing companies, and this is what we're bringing to the table as minorities.
Exactly. You know, once you, even though you collab and everything, like you said, once you get the opportunity to show what you can do, that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, then it makes it all worthwhile.
Yeah, and also not to forget that, you know, it's not about piggybacking on another company, but also reaching back out to each other. And so when you do kind of climb that ladder, not to forget about the ones underneath you, and really giving each other the opportunity to kind of get that recognition or be in the right room at the right moment, or whatever it is. But, you know, when you have so many businesses out here, whether you have the certifications or not, but once you do get that, you earn that. You've been in business, you know, you did what you had to do, and you took the time to apply and find the importance in that you don't want to forget about other amazing companies. All these companies are out here, not everybody's amazing. So if you end up having a partnership with another minority company that is amazing, then you want to make sure you keep bringing them along as your journey and as your business grows, because I mean, these are opportunities that we have.
Thank you, Melinda. I think you answered the question that was in our chat. So there is a couple questions in the chat. One is, what was the decision-making process you went through to select one certification program over another? And I'll start with you, Sheena, for that.
So for me, why did I select the programs that I selected, or the certifications that I selected? I would say it just was the spaces that I decided that I wanted to be in, how I wanted to do business, and who I wanted to do business with. The federal government, they have set aside money, and obviously they have a very large number of contracts that they have. But they also have small opportunities that people tend to overlook, or companies that are large, they cannot take them on because of their overhead costs. So something that may be $10,000 or $25,000, they may not put that out to bid because it's not worth it for a large organization. But to me, that's a big deal. You know, a $25,000 contract is a huge amount of money for a small business. And the reason why I selected my WeBank certification, which is a national certification, honestly, that certification is probably a game changer. So I've attended several different events that they've had, and they've helped me without even being a member so much. The training that they offer, the education, because as a business owner, you constantly you want to be educating yourself and working on your business and not just in your business, which happens a lot. And so in working on your business, it's very important that you learn how to communicate and how to present in front of executives, and they offer those types of classes. And for another thing is, for example, this. When I first got my certifications, I did not understand the procurement terminology, right? So Vaughn mentioned at the beginning an RFP or an RFQ. Now, nobody said anything, but when I first started, I had no clue what any of those terms meant. I didn't know. And so it was just me on my own taking the initiative, learning what all of those things meant, because as I was getting contracts or things or bids that were coming across my desk, I noticed the terminology was a lot different than what I was used to. And so that certification, it just provided the training, the group of women. There's a lot of dollars in government being passed down just to women businesses, and it's just very important. So that's why I selected the WeBank. And the other one's the same, really the same reason, just, networking and building relationships with people.
Exactly. As I heard someone say, relationships are everything. So
I just wanted to chime in here real quickly. Sheena, thank you so much for those comments about RFP and RFQ. And we throw around a lot of acronyms and different things like that in spaces that we know. And I think that's incredibly brave and courageous of you to say that that was an area that you just didn't have a lot of knowledge on, but you stepped up to the plate, educated yourself, and now you're doing extraordinarily well. So if there's anything that we're talking about here today on this call, and you're not sure what it is, you don't feel comfortable maybe asking publicly, we're here to help you in a one-on-one situation, or you can put something like that in the chat. We'll be happy to answer those questions. We want to make sure that when we're done with this workshop today, that you have, a few pieces of golden nuggets and some tools to better help you prosper and grow your business. So thank you for that, Sheena.
Also, I just want to let you know that I do teach a class on procurement basics, just if anybody's wondering.
That's wonderful. That is awesome. Thank you.
okay, I want to give the other panelists opportunity to respond to Wanda. You want to respond to that question about which certification you chose over others and why? First.
I think I may have mentioned it in previous comments, but I was led mainly by the clients that I was working with. I was fortunate enough to work with clients or be referred to, approached by clients, and they kind of steered me. So whether it was the sewer district or the city of Cleveland, look, we want to work with you, but you need a certification. So I was just kind of steered by the clients that I was currently working with and wanted to work with, and then recognize the value in having the certifications to then go after additional clients.
Thank you. Okay, what advice would you, this is another question, what advice would you give to small business owners at this time? Melinda, I'll start with you.
Oh, where do I begin? Just master your field. Don't worry about necessarily like what other businesses are doing to a certain degree, or how big they are, how small they are. Just whatever it is that you're going to do, figure out what your niche is. You can have 10 different cleaning companies in one room, and you're going to outshine them, based off of your experience and mastering what you do, specializing in what you do, educating yourself, networking at all times. Just figure out what it is in your field that is going to outshine. When you remove all the papers and all the certifications, what exactly and who you are, what you represent for your company, and just never forget that, and then just keep building and keep building. And just remember, when you are self-employed, today is a good day. Tomorrow might be a bad day. Yesterday's money may need to get you to the next couple weeks when you're not bringing in that revenue. So it's a nonstop hustle. So just like the way you started the business is the way you should be 10 years later. So it should never stop. Your hunger should never stop. Your networking should never stop. Your education on what you're mastering and what you're doing in your business should never stop.
Thank you, Melinda. All right, Sheena, same question for you.
Okay, so I wrote down a couple things. So one piece of advice that I would give you is that even though we're talking about all these certifications and what they can do for you and their earning potentials and set aside money, you still have to be able to perform the work. That's the biggest thing. So you have to be able to perform at a level, really, if I mean, just better, if you know, better than what you would anywhere else in order to be referred to anybody. It's important to know your value proposition, and that's what you bring to the table. That's a lot of what Melinda just said. And then also for me and what I like to do is really partnership, right? So I partner with other businesses because a lot of times we make it harder for ourselves by trying to do everything on our own. And I'm smart enough to hire people that are smart at what they do so I can do what I do best instead of trying to do every single thing because it just doesn't work. And then my last piece of advice is listen to what is being said, but then also what's not being said in the room, because that will give you insight to what your next potential move could be. And then also you get in or you get out of your certification what you put in. So they're not going to just give you a contract. You actually have to put something in. Learn to write proposals. If you don't know how to write a proposal, connect with somebody who has a strong writing ability to help you write a proposal.
Thank you for all that helpful advice. Tawana, we'll close out with you.
So the comments of the two previous entrepreneurs were spot on. I agree with everything they said. Just in addition to that, advice that I would give is to network, and not just network, but build relationships. You can have certifications, but if you're not out there building relationships and networking, it may still be difficult for you to land contracts or navigate through different opportunities that are available. And I say that because my experience has mainly been referral based. Also, to Shayna's point, grow your team. I know a lot of times it's kind of hard to see where you may be, or you think, oh, I can't afford to hire someone to do something I can do myself. But my first key hires changed the trajectory of my growth because I was able to focus on other things, which turned into revenue for my business. So definitely a game changer is to begin to build your team, even if you have to start with small subcontractors on a contract basis to do certain things for you. And lastly, the thing that has really been instrumental in my business is utilizing the resources, the small business resources that are available here in Northeast Ohio. I think we have great resources. The Urban League, the Women's Business Center, Jumpstart, University Circle Incorporation, because I'm not an entrepreneur by, I don't have a business degree. I'm a registered nurse. So all of the entrepreneurial things I've had to learn. So outside of, being a chef and cooking, I had to learn how to run a business. So whether it was financials, whether it's a business plan, whether it's, pitching, all of the things that you need to know to run a business, those resources are available, but you have to do the work. You have to go out there. You have to engage in the programs, get the memberships, and be involved.
Can I add something?
Sure.
With that being said, I've been up and running for 9 years. If I would have realized what my strengths and weaknesses are a long time ago, I would have been so much further in my career, even just based off of just now applying for, MBE and so on. Hiring an office manager to deal with all of that and understanding that I just can't do it. I mean, even though I've been doing it for so long, I was holding myself back, not understanding where my strengths are and where I need to put my focus on in my business. So feeling like I was doing this, and that, I just you just holding yourself back if you don't understand what your hat is in your business. It could be your business, but it's not just you that keeps those doors open, and to be able to, keep a successful business and longevity, and really understanding different resources out there. When I first started, no, I couldn't afford an office manager, but I reached out to colleges, Tri-C and so on, and hired an intern that was able to help in the beginning. And just, I even went to high school students to help with social media and things like that. So just using as many resources, or the people that are around you, and thinking outside the box in order to keep your company up and going is going to be the key too. Because when you don't have the money, you don't have the money. But when you do have the money, especially in the beginning, because that's kind of where I made a mistake too. It was money coming in because I was full-time out on the field, that it was all this money coming in. But understanding where you need to put that money to invest in order to grow is going to be a different lane. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision, and it's better to make that decision when that new money is coming in versus waiting 5 years later to now you feel like you're taking money out of your pocket and you're going negative in order to get to the next step. So I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but I hit that road to where financially it burdened my company, but I had to finally just jump and do that negative because I just didn't invest the money properly in the beginning. So luckily, it didn't affect me to a point where my doors were closed, but it definitely affected me personally in my financial life, to have to step back from being out on the field and hiring more staff, and then, investing into the office world as well.
That's a great point, Melinda. I think too, and not to discount the men who may be in this chat, but as women, female entrepreneurs, we have a lot on our plates. Personally, I definitely, you just can't do it all, and you get to a place where you're burned out. So again, definitely you have to sometimes take a seat back and look at your business like you're on the outside looking in, and really evaluate your strengths, your weaknesses. Be honest with yourself. What is your mission? What are your values? What type of business do you want to have? What type of clients do you want to have? And even, in your partnerships, align with people who share those values, because there are risks in partnerships. I mean, it can be a win-win. There are tremendous benefits, but you definitely want to align with people who have the same, quality as you. Those things are important because, again, we may land these contracts, but as women, a lot of times, definitely as minorities, we have to exceed the expectations to keep those contracts and to get bigger ones.
You have to go above and beyond.
We do.
All right. Any other comments? Anybody else? Sheena, you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, there was one thing I was looking for that Tawana had mentioned about knowing what type of clients that you like to have. And I'll send it out. There's a website, and I believe it's either Salesforce or HubSpot, but you can actually create your customer persona. So who you believe may be your customer, after you complete, they ask you a series of questions. You'll answer the questions, and then it'll spit out what your typical customer may look like that you may have completely overlooked, and you may not even realize this could be your customer. I know there was one lady when I first joined, she said that she sold paparazzi jewelry, right? That's a big thing, paparazzi jewelry, and I have several friends that do the same thing. And so Vaughn said, oh, my wife, it's our anniversary, and I need that, right? But had she not said that, she may have only just marketed to women or to young women or to girls, but when she mentioned it, Baum was all suddenly her customer. So that, that's an example right there. But I'll find the website and I'll send it over.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we thank all of our presenters, our panelists today, Sheena Fang, Melinda Gonzalez, Tawana Williams. We thank you for all the information that you've shared. I know you've helped a lot of businesses on the line. You've been very transparent, and You let us know about your struggles, your successes, your strategies that have worked, the ones that have not worked. So I think this has been a very much a value added proposition for everybody here today. At this time, we're going to take a break before we begin our presenters. I know we can keep going with this. This is so good. We can keep going and going, but we got to pause somewhere. So, and I'm sure you've helped a lot of people today. So we really appreciate you for being on our panel today. But we are going to take about a 15-minute break. Is that right, April?
Yes, Richard, thank you so much for bringing that up. Before we do that, though, I just wanted to mention a couple things. I know a lot of you have been asking questions in the chat box that we haven't quite been able to get to because of our time limit. And I want you to all know that we want to make sure all of your questions are answered. So please make sure you put all of your contact information, all of the panelists, Sheena and Tawana and Melinda, please make sure to put your contact information in the chat box so everyone on the call today can get in touch with you. I will also email everyone with all of the information that we're learning about today. So you're going to get all of the presenters' information, you're going to get the contact information for ECDI and WBC, and all of the panelists that were here today. So don't be discouraged if your question wasn't answered quite yet, because we will make sure it gets answered. Nicole or Jasmine, is there anything else that you would like to say before we close out this portion of our workshop? Oh, we can't hear you, Nicole.
I said, no, I think we're good. I'm ready to take a coffee break.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So with that being said, we're going to take about a 10-minute break or so, and we will be back with Bobby Bartholomew from the state of Ohio at 11 o'clock. So stay tuned. Don't log off. Thanks so much.
Okay, we're about to get started. Oh, there you are, April.
I am here.
Fire away.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for being patient during that break, and welcome back. In a moment, we are going to hear from Bobby Bartholomew from the state of Ohio. Bobby, are you ready?
Yes, I am. I am hoping that Miss Scott Williams is still on, because I was very interested in the certification she had versus the ones she doesn't. So I'm hoping that we can entice her to get state certification as we talk to everybody about state of Ohio certifications this morning.
Hi, yes, I am still on the video. I'm sorry, I'm still here. I'm just not on video.
No, that's fine. And I do not mean to call you out, but I noticed that we were not on your list.
That's okay, I'm listening.
Fabulous. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging in and coming back. So this morning, we are going to talk about the certifications that the state of Ohio offers. And we are going to start with the veteran-friendly business enterprise. So as you might expect, this certification program is for veterans. It is designed to be ethnicity and gender neutral. It is for all types of procurement categories. So we're talking goods and services, IT, construction, architecture, everything, right? The difference between this program and some government preference programs is that the VBE program does not have a specific percentage or spending target that state agencies are spending towards, but rather it's an overall preference that is applied. And that is done by a certified business when they respond to, as Sheena referenced, an ITB, those acronyms that the state and government love to use, an invitation to bid. So when they respond to an ITB, they are allowed to quote up to 5% more than a non-certified business and are still eligible to win that bid. If they're responding to an RFP or a request for a proposal, they are provided up to 5% of the available points on the scoring of that proposal just by being certified as a VBE company. So again, difference for VBE is there's not an actual percentage that agencies are spending toward, just an overall preference. And as April mentioned, you're going to get copies of these PowerPoints, so don't feel like you need to write these names down, but I did want to give you some good points of contact with both of these agencies. This is DAS Office of Procurement Services and Department of Transportation. Both of these gentlemen are very familiar with contracting with VBE certified businesses. So our second program we're going to talk about today is called MBE, Minority Business Enterprise. And this is probably our highest profile, the one that most businesses are familiar with. And it establishes a 15% set aside goal for state agencies, boards, and commissions, that 15% of their goods and services budget be set aside for just certified MBEs. Now, what that means is that their goods and services, which can include IT services and professional services, those solicitations have to be made within a sheltered market to just certified MBEs. So you're going to compete with similarly situated businesses. So you are going to be competing with, you know, Mary or John down the street rather than Cardinal Health or Ohio Health. It is a ethnicity or race-based certification program. Last fiscal year, we just announced these numbers. The state of Ohio spent $261 million in a set-aside fashion in that sheltered market with certified MBEs. Then we spent another $37 million in what we call participation. And that means we happen to spend with certified MBEs, not in a sheltered market, but we spent with certified businesses. And we do monitor that spend monthly and quarterly. Our third program is called EDGE, Encouraging Diversity, Growth, and Equity. So this program is designed to be ethnicity and gender neutral. And it does establish a goal for state agencies, boards, and commissions, as well as state universities. That goal is currently set at 5%. And that means that 5% of their budget should be spent with EDGE certified businesses. However, it's an open market program, so it's not within that sheltered market like an MBE. It's 5% of a much larger pie, because EDGE is not just goods and services and some IT services and professional services, but we also pick up construction, architecture, and engineering. So by adding those large capital budgets, you've got a much larger eligible budget. And with that, last fiscal year, the state spent $348 million with certified MBEs, which amounted to like 7.2%. So if you can imagine between the MBE program and the EDGE program, what just a small fraction of those dollars could do to help grow your business. An additional component to the MBE program that's different than the MBE is that EDGE is for socially and economically disadvantaged. So with that economic disadvantage, there's a component where a business has to be small. It's based on, yes, a person's personal net worth, but also size standards. And we use the SBA business size standards. So we're looking at NAICS codes and whether or not, based on the SBA size standards, whether it's gross revenue or number of employees. Do you fit within those guidelines to be small? So it is possible to, once you get into the program, grow your business to exceed those standards, and then consequently graduate from the program. So you're no longer small, no longer really need the benefit of the program. And that's probably a really good problem to have, because you've grown to the point where you can handle and do business outside of the EDGE program. And for the ladies with us today, especially since we have the Women's Business Center with us today, I'm excited to be able to say that effective Friday, as in this Friday, October 9th, our new administrative code goes into effect, and we will have a new program called the Women-Owned Enterprise, or WBE certification, and we will be able to certify women-owned businesses, or WBEs, for the state of Ohio. Up to this point, we've only been able to certify women into EDGE, as that being the social reason they're disadvantaged, or we're certifying minority into MBE who also are women. So this is a great opportunity to just certify women-owned businesses. There are some differences between the programs, though. So for WBE, there is not, as the statute is currently written, there is not a goal or percentage tied to this program. That may very well change in the future. We are not the deciding folks on that. That's for the legislature to make that decision and push down to us. But as of right now, there are no percentages or goals tied to this program. However, they did build in a component that allows us to enter into reciprocal agreements with other states who also have WBE programs. So what that means is you'll be able to, once we finish finalizing the agreement, take your Ohio WBE certification to, for example, Tennessee. Apply in Tennessee using your home state certification, get your Tennessee WBE certification, and then compete in Tennessee on their WBE set-asides. So it opens up opportunities that otherwise you wouldn't have as an Ohio resident trying to do business on a Tennessee WBE set-aside. So it really does open up opportunities for women-owned businesses. We're excited. I'm anxiously watching my calendar and my watch for all of the work that we're trying to accomplish by Friday, but we are going to get there so that we can get some women businesses certified. So we are going to launch our website on Friday. So in the meantime, you can access information. Well, look on our homepage, which is on the slideshow, and you'll be able to access it from there. So we've talked about the programs overall. The why, I've kind of hinted about the contracting opportunities that are available within each, those markets that otherwise it might be a challenge to get into, or in the case of the MBE set-aside, you would not have access to without that certification. Additionally, we do list all of our certified businesses on search engines, or in the case of BBE and actually WBE, because our IT solution's not going to quite be built yet. We're going to list those on spreadsheets on our website so that agencies and prime contractors and any other outside organization looking to broaden their supplier base can identify businesses to contract or subcontract with. Additionally, through our partners at the Ohio Development Services Agency, there are bonding and loan programs available, many of which you do have to be certified in order to take advantage of. So I'm going to say this a lot this morning, the hashtag MBAC has your back. Bam, Vaughn, said it before you got a chance. Ha. So anyway, Vaughn and I have this race every first of the month as to who's going to say MBAC has your back first. But your MBAC, they can help you identify which loan or bond program really fits your business best and pair you with that loan or financial resource partner. Also, as many of our panelists alluded to, the certification is a tool. It can be used to market your business, but you can also, not just to government agencies, market to non-governmental entities. There are a number of private organizations like Cleveland Clinic, NFL, Ohio Health, all of these organizations have really latched on to the idea that having a broad supplier base is just good business. So having these additional credentials to your business is really smart and a good marketing strategy. So getting these certifications, just another credential to your business. Also consider marketing to your peers, your certified peers. What is it that your business provides that other certified businesses have a need for? So let's talk about eligibility. I'm going to touch on BBE first. And only one of these 4 reasons have to be met. So obviously, as it is a veterans program, so if the owner themselves are a veteran or a person on active service, that's pretty much a no-brainer, right? They could be certified as a BBE. If 51% of the board of directors are veterans or on active service, we can certify the company. Additionally, if they've already gone through the process of getting certified by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, we honor that certificate. And this fourth component I really like because if at least 10% of a business's employees are veterans or on active service, that business is eligible for certification. And that way, we're not only helping veteran-owned businesses, we're also helping veterans find employment. So as you are looking at potentially hiring a workforce now, or maybe if that's in your business plan for next year or 2 years down the road, consider hiring veterans. There's a desperate need in the veterans community for them to have jobs right now. There is a need for it, but also it helps the owner take advantage of this program. Okay, so for MBE and EDGE, for this information, the programs are very much alike. So for both programs, you do have to be a full-time Ohio resident. I know winters in Cleveland, I hear, can be very rough, but we do need you to be living in Ohio, paying Ohio taxes, not spending 6 months out of your year in Florida. And we also, there's a requirement that you do have to be a for-profit and be in business for a year. We all love the work of nonprofits, but unfortunately statute precludes us from certifying them. And the in business for 1 year, again, I'm gonna say the MBAC has your back. We're not suggesting that you register with the Secretary of State's, not do anything, and then apply for certification. You have to be able to document that in 1 year in business, and the MBAC can help you do that. They can help you demonstrate how you have, even though you've not made any revenue, you went after this solicitation, you've spent money on marketing, you've bought equipment, you've spent money with an attorney, what have you. They can help document the life of your business during that year so that you can meet that requirement. Obviously, we want you to make sure that you possess the requisite knowledge in the business and industry and have day-to-day control. A lot of the presenters you're going to hear throughout the rest of the day are going to talk about control because that is key for us. We are looking to certify that the minority business owner manages and controls that business. It's not just a name on the paper or a name over the door, but they actually run the business. For MBE eligibility, as I said, it is an ethnicity or race-based certification. So in addition to those other criteria, you do have to be either African American, American Indian, Asian, or Latino, period. If you are not within one of those 4 races or ethnicities, you will not be certified as an MBE. For EDGE, this is for socially and economically disadvantaged businesses. So for the social disadvantage, that can be because of your race or ethnicity, can also be because of your gender, because of a chronic physical or mental disability, or because of a, this is legal, the legal term, business owner's long-term residence in an environment isolated from the mainstream of American society. Roughly translated, that means being in a SBA hub zone. So the Small Business Administration has designated by census tracts regions across the state that based on low income, high unemployment, they call them hub zones. So we link to their site from our website and you can plug in the address to see whether you fall within one of those hub zones. If you do, there's an additional component to hub zone certification where 35% of your workforce also has to reside in a hub zone. Not necessarily the same hub zone, but a hub zone. Also know that on recertification, we're going to verify, one, that you're still in a hub zone, because based on census, those do shift every now and again, but also two, that 35% of your workforce still resides in a hub zone. So that's just something to be cognizant of. As I said, it's for socially and economically disadvantaged. It's not an either or. So you also have to have a personal net worth of less than 250,000 at the time of application. We exclude your primary residence and any interest that you have in the business. Fair market value of all of your assets should be less than 4 million. And know that this is meant to be a development program, right? And I know I talked earlier about how you can graduate out. But once you're in the program, you're allowed to grow your personal net worth up to $750,000 and still remain in the program, so long as your size, the business size standard, doesn't exceed what the SBA determines to be small. Are there questions on that before I dive into the how? What happens when I fill out my application?
I don't see any questions in the chat box.
All right, so we're going to talk about next steps. All of our documents really go to verifying those core requirements of the program, you know, your citizenship, residency, ethnicity, all of those things. And you will get a copy of the documentation checklist with your PowerPoint. In essence, there are 3 certification options. The 2 most commonly used, though, are the standard and the fast track. Basically, the process for both is the same. The timeline changes, though. So in a Buckeye nutshell, there is an online application and supporting documentation. Once you complete both, and we get both, the officer will review them, make sure they match, make sure that they have everything that they need. And this is one of the reasons why we point people to the MBAC on the front end. Because first of all, if you're working with an MBAC, they're going to help you compile your documents, make sure that your documents are as complete as possible, that you have everything you need, so that kind of limits the back and forth between you and the officer, and kind of address anything that, you know, you might not have known that you needed. And then when you have your materials, it's so much easier to sit down and fill out the online application. You have all of the answers. Then when it gets to our shop, because you use those documents to fill out the app, everything's going to match. Again, it's going to go that much easier. So officers looking at the application, everything matches, they have everything they need. They're going to reach out to you to do a, not on site because we're in COVID, we're going to do a phone or Skype interview. They may ask for some additional documentation at that point. They may not. They're going to then make a determination whether they're going to recommend certification or they're going to recommend disapproval. That recommendation goes to the state EEO coordinator. He reviews their report, either agrees or disagrees with their assessment. If he ultimately grants certification, then you get an email saying, congratulations, you've been certified. Click here to get your certificate. Yay, everybody's happy. You then march over to the, well, not march over, you're gonna contact your Procurement Technical Assistance Center, hashtag learn to contract at your local PTAC. And, you know, start that next step. Then, you know, you're on your way. Or conversely, if you get denied and we send you a letter saying, we're going to deny your request for certification. We don't feel that you meet the qualifications. That letter is going to say, not only that, it's going to say why we feel you don't meet the qualifications. We're going to outline what those reasons are. We're also going to tell you what the next steps are. We're going to tell you how you can appeal that decision, because you do have the right to a hearing to appeal that decision. Whoops, went too far. All of that, in most instances, take on average 60, probably closer to the 90 days. We have 5 officers that are covering the entire state. And again, the MBAC is here to help you. If you're working with the MBAC, it's going to go smoother. Our certification process for the fast track, that whole process is exactly the same. However, we do have one officer who works these applications when they come in as a fast track request. So we're able to, and he stops everything when those apps come in. So we're able to shrink the timeline. But because he stops everything, and because we only have the one officer that is able to do it, because, you know, like I said, we've only got 5, we really can do the fast track certification process only in these 2 instances. So if you are submitting a bid or a proposal where you have to be certified in order to be responsive, so it's either an MBE set aside or an EDGE contracting opportunity where you have to be MBE or EDGE certified in order for your bid to be accepted, or you've got a loan or bonding application with the Minority Business Development Division, where you have to be certified in order to go before the board for your approval. Again, process is the same, but he will stop everything and process that application, and it should take between 3 to 5 to 7 days. We would love to be able to do it for everybody. We do not have the staff to do so. Our third process, though, is called expedited certification, formerly known as cross certification. And this can be a quick way into MBE. If you are already certified with the City of Cleveland, perhaps, or OMSDC, Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, you're already certified, Cuyahoga County. We have reciprocity agreements with these organizations where if you fill out a cross cert form, or excuse me, expedited form, we're rebranding it, I keep forgetting, give us a copy of their certificate, we'll reach out to that certifying agency and they'll give us a letter of good standing, and we will issue a certification based on their expiration date and their recommendation. So it's a good way to get in quickly to the MBE program. Right now it's only available for MBE. But know that on recertification, because at this point we've only taken a recommendation from another certifying agency, you're going to have to do a full application with all supporting documentation. If you're thinking that you want to apply for MBE and EDGE, it's easier to just do the unified app all at once than to have 2 separate expiration dates that you're trying to keep track of. We are here to help. Your MBAC is here to help. We work with them closely, but here's our contact information. Again, don't feel you need to write this down. But I've snuck in some bonus info for April to share with you. This is some information about identifying some procurement opportunities for state agencies and where to go and how to do that. So that is what I had for today. Oh, one other thing before, there was a question in the chat earlier about cost. State of Ohio certifications, completely free. Generally speaking, our certifications are issued for 2 years, and then there's a recertification process. With the new administrative code, we will allow recertification up to 6 years, and then you're going to have to go through a full review with a unified application and all documentations. So that goes into effect on Friday as well. But so we issue certification for 2 years. You can research as long as nothing changes in the business using a kind of a shortened form twice, and then you'll do another full application with supporting docs.
Bobby, there's just a couple questions in the chat box before we wrap things up. How many days do you think the application would take to apply?
How many days for the application? Oh, for processing? On average, 60 to 90 is what we're shooting for. We're trying to go less than 100 days. Trying to make sure everybody's processed less than 100.
And can a new business get certified, or do you have to wait for at least a year? You've been up and running for at least a year.
You do have to be in business for 1 year before you're eligible for certification.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you for being here with us today. So our next presenter is Nora Singleton. She is from the city of Cleveland. Nora, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Thank you for being here with us today.
Nora.
Hi.
I am going to get ready to share your PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. Hi, Sheena. Yes, it has been.
I started talking, realizing I was on mute. We're ready for you, Nora.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. So my name is Nora Singleton. I'm with the City of Cleveland in the Mayor's Office of Equal Opportunity, and we do 3 things. We can move to the next slide. We do a contract compliance monitoring, we do business certification, and business development and outreach. Contract compliance monitoring, we have staff that cover all the city departments to monitor projects from start to finish. And on those contracts, we have certain requirements that are used for subcontracting by certified business on each contract. So this little diagram there shows the percentages of subcontracting participation goals. The big one, the most popular one would be construction. You can see we have horizontal construction includes a 30% CSB, Cleveland small business. Vertical construction includes all the certifying subcontracting categories. We have a 15% minority business goal, 8% CSB goal, 7% FBE, which is female business goal. All other contracts is 20% CSB, and professional services 10% CSB, Cleveland small. So we monitor the contracts to make sure that the subcontracting is happening, and if there are any problems, we can assist them with making sure the goals are met. Our certification program is used for the subcontracting purposes, but when a company is certified, they end up on our registry, which is the online database of certified business. This includes all the certifying categories, and most companies are multi-certified. So if they're headquartered in Cuyahoga County, they're a CSB. We can have a minority, a female owner for those categories, a local producer, and sustainable business. And recently we've added on a category called very small business enterprise, or VSB. The VSB is a company who averages less than $3 million over a 3-year time period. So the contracting departments and prime companies utilize the registry to invite businesses for quotes and for possible subcontracting opportunities. We do Also, the business development and outreach. This includes the James H. Walker Turner School of Construction Management. It's a yearly program. It occurs starts in mid-February and ends in mid-May. There's an application that we put on our website, typically in July through December, and we collect the applications. With partnering with Turner, we select a group of companies to participate, some having moderate experience, some new companies, and some experienced companies. Basically, it is for construction management, so that is the field that they're looking for in their participants. We've had town hall meetings where it's a nice time to have guest speakers, and it allows our contractors to ask questions and network. We participate in regional events with partnering agencies, and we share the information. We share any information on any contractor event that would be helpful to small business. We do talk about and try to assist companies in doing business with the city. And this year, our Director Burrows created a small contractor rotation program, and that included 4 services to work with utilities contracts under $50,000. So they created a list of the 4 specialties: electrical, painting, carpentry, and lead abatement. So they would rotate the contractors when the opportunities are available. We also have an application for that on our website, and we're going to add more services in the future once we work out the kinks of the kickoff, when we realize that we may need to change some things, or how can we make it better. But we are working on that. We're always available if anyone has any questions, or if they need any direction about doing business with the city, or of course certification. So, next page. The certification overview. So we use a system called B2G Now, and that stands for Business to Government Now. It is an online certification and compliance reporting system. You can see in the picture there, that is the screenshot that you'll see when you pull up that website. Underneath the title, there's an orange login button. That is when a company or an applicant has an account. But when you're first going online and you have to create an account, you will click that second option on the top left, apply for certification. Some tips there. The first thing you'll do is click apply, and you'll create an account. Your username will be your email address associated to your business, and you'll create a password. It is a user-friendly system. You really can't make any mistakes. The system will highlight any questions that you may miss. Some questions and some documents that are requested may not be applicable to every business, but the more information you can supply, the better we can review and approve. And because we do want you certified, we will ask you for additional information or additional documents. Two ways to attach documents in the application is fax or scanning and attaching. The scanning and attaching is the preferred way because it happens that moment. When you start your application and you get through the first couple introductory pages and creating your account and going over the eligibility questions, such as you're located in a certain county, CSB is Cuyahoga. Minority and female business, local producer, and sustainable have an expanded market, which includes the counties of Cuyahoga, Lake, Lorraine, Geauga, Medina, Summit, and Portage. So if you apply and you didn't apply for local producer, we would add that on for you. We'll make sure that you have all the categories available. Our certification period is 1 year. So the system would send you a reminder email in about 11 months that it's time to recertify. The recertification application is much shorter than the new one. And we do request every 5 years to update the account information by doing a 5-year research. And that it's like a new application, but a shorter list of documents. And the good thing is the system will allow you to populate data from previous applications so that all you're really having to do is edit. We do not certify nonprofit agencies. You must have a physical address, not a PO box. We do not certify drop ships, where a company may order material from another distributor and ship it straight to the customer. To be a supplier, you have to have the items in your possession, and you must be located in our market, which is those counties that I've mentioned. Here we go. The contracting market again is Cleveland small business is Cuyahoga County. The minority, female, local, and sustainable have those surrounding counties. Everyone will receive a copy of this, so you can review it later if you like. The applications are processed typically in the order they're received. Again, if during the review we have any questions or need additional information, we'll send you an email through the system. Once you're approved, you will receive an email stating that, and it'll have instructions on how to find your approval letter and certificate in the system. Also, at that point, your company would be listed in the registry, available for all primes and contracting departments to see. This is a nice link that I like to point out. It's doing business with the City of Cleveland. If you were to go to the city's website, on the top there are some tabs. When you roll your mouse over business, you'll see doing business with the city. And these are the links that you'll see. This is a lot of information that anybody interested in doing business would like to see. We have an open house that typically occurs on the first Tuesday of every month in the purchases and supplies department. And I go down and talk about certification, and the purchase agent talks about contracting or where to find the bids, or they answer any questions any businesses have. We have our registry listed there. The last 3 links are the contracts, and this is where you can see all the projects, current RFPs and RFQs, request for proposal, request for qualification, current ITBs over 50,000 and invitations under 50,000. So when you open up those links, you'll be able to see the contract names, and it'll have further information that you can click the links to see what the specs are, when is the pre-bid meeting. I recommend that you try to go to those meetings when you see your specialty, so you can network and you can find out where do you fit in that project and how can you participate. It's a good link to see. The purchases and supplies department, we do work closely with them. All contracting bids go through this department, and I like to recommend that you register as a vendor. This is totally separate from certification, but it will put your company profile in the city's financial management system so that if and when you're on a contract, you'll already be set up to receive payment. It's also another list that the Purchases and Supplies Office can utilize to find businesses to invite to bid. They have initiated a new system called e-procurement. So when a company is registered as a vendor, they will get an invitation to activate that account, and that system will notify you when contracts come up with your specialty. So again, this is completely separate from certification. It's a side note, but I definitely would recommend that you can contact purchasing and find out what's best for your company and how do you register as a vendor. Our contact information, our main office number, 664-4152. I answer that line and I retrieve all the voicemails. My coworker, Tiffany Washington, assists with certification review, and I have the names of our contract compliance officers. Our director's name is Melissa Burrows, and I have my email there in case you'd like to email, and you certainly are welcome to call with any questions or if we can give direction. We have another document. We call it the certification packet, and it has a basic office overview on the cover, our number, our website, and it's got our certification categories on there: the Cleveland, minority, female, local, and sustainable. We have a LGBT BE registry, and we're going to add the very small business on there too. The web address for the B2G Now system is cleveland.diversitycompliance.com. And again, on that main homepage, you'll click option 3 to create an account, and they have the tips there listed again. Your email is your login, and you'll create a password. The next document is our certification eligibility document, and it categorizes the contracting market for each of the certifying types. Cleveland, Cuyahoga, minority and female and local is the surrounding counties. It's just a good reminder page or information page so people understand what our contracting market is. It's a geographical space. We can continue. Yep. And here, this is a screenshot from the online application. When you first log in, this is our eligibility tree, they call it. And you'd answer some questions to say that my firm is not certified, I am a for-profit business, I am located in the contracting market, etc. I've put some blue arrows in there to help you select the right links. Yep, and you'll follow the prompts. And finally there it says submit a new application. Yep. And then this is an autofill page, and it'll take any data that you may have in the system because other agencies use the system as well. So you may already have an account, an email, and a password to sign in with. So it'll give you options to populate the data that may be available. Again, there's like 2 or 3 more questions. I'm a US citizen and I'm in the market. This is our documents preview page, and where the blue arrow is pointing in the box, it states that you have 90 days to complete your application, and the system will send you reminder emails that you've got this application pending. If after 90 days it's not done, the system will automatically delete it. It typically does not take applicants that long. If you needed any assistance, I would recommend reaching out either to our office or Urban League or Minority Business Assistance Center. We'll all be happy to help. So you can preview these documents. You have a chance to print your affidavit and your employment data, which is just a list of employees. So at the bottom of the page, there's action buttons, and it might say next or save and return. And we just follow the prompts to continue. And then, okay, we keep going. And here is the main summary. This is what I call the heart of the application. At this point, your information will be saved, and you can log on and off as often as you need to. So you can gather your documents. You might have to find some more information, but you can see there's some red arrows. There's 7 sections to fill in. When you complete a section, the red arrow turns into a green check mark. And when we have all the green check marks, we can sign and submit. Again, the system will not allow you to submit an incomplete application. It will highlight any questions that you may miss. And I feel like it's a pretty standard application. All the agencies have similar questions. Some may vary. Some may ask for more information, or some may ask for different information. But it gets easier as you go through these applications And especially when you already prepare yourself before you go online and you have your documents scanned and saved, you've gone through the questions, you've prepared yourself. Typically for somebody who's fairly comfortable online, I would say that it takes about an hour and a half from start to finish if you're prepared. First, you're welcome, to sign off and come back later and finish it up. And if you have any problems getting past a question and you can't figure it out, you're welcome to contact me. And if we have something very technical, we do have tech support available through the B2G Now offices. So we're going to send this packet out to you, and I usually would recommend that you can print it out and staple it and utilize it as a workbook, so you can write down your answers, your dates, your dollars. You can get your documents scanned and saved. Again, the more information you can supply, the better we can review and approve. So the following pages would be the screenshots of each of those sections. If you go down one more page, just like to show in the upper right-hand corner, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a color code, and pink means the question needs to be addressed. Yellow is optional, and green is complete. So you see, if you miss a question, it will remain with that pink title bar. And at the bottom of the pages, it'll say save and return. So it'll bring you back to the main summary. And so April, if you go all the way down, then we'll see that during this demo application that I was working on, I've completed 6 of the 7 sections, and we're going to see the green check marks right there. So you can see I've finished up 6 of the 7. I still have the documents to finish, but if I did, I would be able to sign and submit. You'll have a chance at that point to print a copy of your application. You can save it electronically, or that's it, printing or saving electronic. And really, you don't need it because it's in the system. We are notified when you submit your application. When we open it, you receive an email saying it's being processed. And then again, when we approve it, you get another email. We do have the cross-certification, or as Bobby mentioned, they call it the expedited application, and that is for MBE only. So if there is a company located in our market, Cuyahoga and the surrounding counties, certified MBE with the state, we can expedite an MBE certification with the city. And again, that's good when we have an opportunity that we need the certification quickly. But if you're not in a rush, it would be more beneficial to do just the full application so you can benefit from all the certification types that apply to your business. Some of the other agencies that utilize the same system would include the sewer district, and most recently the airport, Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. And they also do a DBE certification, and also available on this system through the City of Cleveland is a Section 3, which is a federal application, completely different from the Cleveland Minority and Female. It's Section 3 that's available. I usually recommend just doing one application at a time, and then you can put that aside and move on to your next agency. And like I said, it'll get easier because you already have your documents ready and you're getting more practice at going through these systems. Does anyone have any questions?
Hi, Nora, this is Vaughn. I have a question for you.
Yes.
You mentioned about being a supplier and you have to have your inventory in your possession.
Yes.
Okay, we have a client that they have inventory, but it is more fiscally advantageous if their inventory is housed literally in another country. It's in a warehouse in Dubai.
Mm-hmm.
Does that qualify as in their possession?
I would say no, because it's located out of our contracting market.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. April?
Yes, Nora.
I think I missed a question. I saw it pop up and disappear.
I just saw one. Is there a list of the types of contracts that are available so that we can see if the services we provide are needed?
Yes, on the Doing Business with the City page, the last 3 links there are all the contracts and projects. So you can check those out. There's the bids under 50, over 50,000, and the RFPs, RFQs. I would search those links probably every week. But I would also register as a vendor to activate your e-procurement account so the city can notify you of jobs of your specialty.
Great, thank you so much. Does anyone else have any questions for Nora? You did such a great job, Nora, that everybody already has all their questions answered.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you can share our documents with them. And again, we're looking forward to working with you, and we would love to see you become certified.
Yes,
Everybody,
thank you so much.
have a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. For anyone who has more questions that hasn't been answered yet, once again, I will provide these PowerPoint slides along with Nora's contact information and Bobby from the state of Ohio so that you can reach out and ask any questions that you have. So to get ready for our next presenter, our last one for the day, we have Shakara Ben, who is from the Minority Supplier Development Council. Hi, Shakara, are you there? She might still be at, oh, perfect. We are a couple minutes early, but if you are ready to start, we are ready for you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can maybe turn up your microphone just a little?
Okay, what about now?
Perfect.
Okay. I'm going to get started. Okay, let me know if you can see my screen because I'm not seeing it.
Yes, you are good to go.
Okay. Well, hello everyone. I am Shakara Ben. I'm with the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, and I am in the Cleveland office. It is just myself in the Cleveland office right now. And I am also the BGC liaison for the council as well. And I'm going to discuss what the BGC is and what role they play in what we do. I work on outreach, relationship building, and I assist with the OMSDC special events. And as I said, I do the BGC. I work on the client processing side of it. And I assist with certifications and helping MBEs develop after they have become certified. The Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council, our headquarters is in Columbus, Ohio. We have an office in Cincinnati and we have an office in Cleveland. Our president is Jacqueline Neal. We are a nonprofit organization. We were established in 1972. We merged, so it used to be a Southern Ohio Council, and then we became, then the Northern and the Southern Ohio Councils merged in 2013. We have more than 100 local and national corporate members and nearly 400 certified MBEs in our region. The National Minority Supplier Development Council was established in 1978. It is headquartered in New York, and there is about 1,450 national regional corporate members and nearly 12,000 MBEs in the network total, and there are 23 regional council affiliates across the U.S. So we fall under the Ohio Council. The state of Ohio has its own council, but there are councils where, like the Midwest, they may have 4 or 5 states that fall under them. What we do, we certify you, we develop you, we put you, connect you with buyers and corporate entities alike, and we advocate for you, meaning that we work directly with those corporate members who are in our network with their supplier diversity workers to make sure that you are getting in, or you are getting put in front of different opportunities. And if we're seeing that that's not happening, if you come to us, we make sure we go up to bat for you as well. We also assist in relationship building. We don't provide loans and contracts, and we cannot guarantee any opportunities, but we can guarantee putting you in front of the opportunities. Qualifications to apply for certifications. You have to be for profit, legally formed entity. You can't be a holding company, have to physically be in the US or Puerto Rico. You have to at least be 51% ethnic minority owned. The minority owner holds the highest executive title position. The minority owner is a US citizen. The minority owner is active in management and daily operations, and the minority ownership and control is real and continuing, and startups can apply. The ethnic groups that fall under the acceptable ethnic groups are Asian Americans, Black Americans, Hispanic, Latino Americans, Native Americans. Currently ineligible groups are Asia Minor region, Europe, I can never say this word, but I believe it's Liberian Peninsula. But if I'm wrong, just laugh at me. Northern Africa and the Persian Gulf. The benefits of certification. We provide validation of your MBE status. It's a national certification. So what that means is that if you are trying to do a contract with Cleveland Clinic, and Cleveland Clinic does have locations in Florida, you can use your minority certification through us to procure an opportunity with the Cleveland Clinic, whether it's in Cleveland or Florida or anywhere else. So our national database of corporate entities, you can work with all of them because it is a national certification. It does not just limit you to the Ohio corporations. You get access to key corporate decision makers. So what that means is, for instance, Cleveland Clinic again. So if you're trying to get in contract with Cleveland Clinic and we put you in connection directly with the buyer from Cleveland Clinic, that is what we mean by putting you directly into communication with the decision maker. Networking with other certified minority entities via advocacy group. So we have a B2B, and it's basically MBEs working with MBEs, because that is also another growing sector right now, is that MBEs have to come together to work together to maybe work for a bigger contract, or there may be an MBE who is in need of the services of another MBE, or vice versa. And you never know what type of developments and connections can come from working with fellow MBEs. Inclusion in a national database sourced by more than 1,400 corporations. So once you become a member, we have nationwide who may reach out to us, and they may be in the Texas area, and they're going to be having building something in Ohio. They may reach out to us directly to ask us for minorities in the Ohio area for what they may need or may need in Texas. You never know. Invitation to special corporate events, local and national business opportunity fairs that we have. We have our NMSDC Business Opportunity Expo each year in July. And then our National MSDC Conference and Business Opportunity is in October. And then we have a host of events within the state of Ohio that the Ohio Council also has. Our certification process. Our certification process can take up to 90 days, but I will work with you through the certification process to make it as fast as possible and as easy as possible. I like to take the ABC approach to certification, meaning that I will go with you by line item on the things that you need and break it down for you to help you understand maybe what it is, or if you already have it, or if you don't, and how we can get it created and get it submitted. So that way the process does not take 90 days. But so you will attend a pre-certification meeting like you are now. You will set up our online profile through our website, and then you'll submit your application with the processing fee. Now, the processing fee, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later when I get to the BGC information on how you may be eligible to have that waived. There's going to be a desk audit and documentation review that is going to be completed to make sure that everything that you're submitting is true and it fits, and you have everything aligned to certify that you are a minority-owned business. There's going to be a site visit interview. Right now, they are virtual because of COVID. And the site visit interview is just a conversation going over the documentation to make sure that there is clarity on both sides. The certification committee will then review the application. The certification committee meets the second week of every month. Then the board of directors will review the application, and they meet the third or fourth week of every month. After they have met and you have been approved or denied for certification, you will receive notification from myself letting you know of the approval or denial. And then following that, you'll be able to download your certification. You will have to go through a new certification orientation with the director of MBE services so that we can be sure that we are going to get ready to kind of guide you down the right path as to why you wanted to use your certification and what you're looking for using it for. After we do that, we follow back up with you in a few months to make sure that things are still going in that same direction. But we're always going to be here for questions. We're always going to be here if you have anything new that may come up as you're developing through your certification process. Because once you become certified as an MBE, as a lot of the MBEs said earlier in the call, that there's learning curves. They had to learn new things. They had to figure out new things. And we're here to help you kind of figure out things as they come about as you go through it, because you may get a big contract and we want you to be able to secure it. So you may have to work with us to try to get things figured out, and that's okay. That is what we're here for. Our regular certification fees. So a class 1 is an MBE who has less than 1 million. The new certification fee is $300, and the recertification fee is $250. We are a yearly certification, and you have to recertify every year. Class 2 is 1 million to 9.9 is $550. 10 million to 49.9 is $850, and hopefully everybody on here reaches class 4, and then it will be $950 per year. We do have an expedited certification process. This is for a business who is 100% minority owned, and the fee for processing is doubled. And that is offered in the event that you are trying to secure a contract faster, or you have one that you may have someone who is trying to work with you, you need to get the certification done immediately. Our required documents. You're going to need a brief history of the business, certificate of foreign business authority, if that applies, fictitious business statement, if it applies, valid driver's license, it has to be a color copy, proof of U.S. citizenship, proof of ethnicity, 2 years of federal tax returns, current signed financial statements, signed, well, the acronyms is cash flow, balance sheet, and profit and loss. Signed notes payable, if applicable. Your operating business licenses, if you have to have any. Signed facility lease agreements, if you have any of those, or may just if you're from home and maybe your rental or mortgage, I'm not your rental, title to the home. Your resume for all owners, partners, or shareholders. And the resume must currently have your active role within the company and the job duties. Equipment rental and purchase agreements, if applicable. Contract or work history for the past 3 years. And you may be a startup and you may not have that. So don't let that deter you from contacting me to begin the process to certify. You can certify if you are a startup. There's a way of going about it, and I am here to help you through it, and you can become certified as a startup. Equipment owned or that's available to you, proof of bonding capability, if that applies, bank signature card or letter from the bank, proof of capital investment, Indian or Native Americans blood degree, certificate, if that applies, non-refundable, non-transferable processing fee based on gross sales, and that will also be a if it applies. Are there any questions, as I can't see the...
Yes, we do have a question. Now, are North Africans considered minorities?
I would have to know the country and then
Algeria.
Algeria. I would have to look it up. I can follow back up after this, but we do have a way of researching map-wise to figure that out.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, so your required documentations for each company organization, whether you're LLC, partnership, corporation, or sole proprietor, it's going to be different as you're going through the application. Once you select if you're LLC, partner, corp, or sole proprietor, it's going to ask for additional documentations that will coincide with that. So at LLC, you're going to need your certificate of organization, articles of organization, articles of amendment, if that applies, operational agreement, member unit certificates, member unit ledger, minutes of first and most recent meetings, and proof of member unit purchase. Now, I'm going to say this about LLCs. Generally, LLCs are single members and they act as sole proprietors in all sense. So if you are LLC, you may not have member unit certificates because it may be just you. You may not have the ledger, and you may not have the minutes because you meet with yourself. I understand that. We understand that. But that is another thing that contact me. I will tell you what to do, and it's pretty easy. It's ABC. So don't look at that and go, "Oh, I don't know about that." Don't worry about it. I get it a lot. If you are a partner, you're going to have your LLP or your partnership agreements, your buyout rights, profit sharing, current partnership, financial statement, third-party agreements, any management and service agreements. Corps, you're going to have articles of incorporation, certificate of corporation, minutes of the first and most recent board meeting, stock certificates, stock ledger, corporate bylaws, and proof of stock purchases. And then if you're sole proprietor, you're going to have the minutes of your first organizational meeting, your DBA document from the county clerk's office, and proof of capital investment. And again, remember, some of these are not going to apply necessarily to each entity. Each application is different in regards to what you may need, as far as if you're a partnership, corp, sole proprietor, because you may not, if you're a startup, you may not be there just yet. Is that a question, or did I?
There is actually another question for you. Are there any specific requirements for the signed financial statements? Can you compile them yourself, or do they need to be audited?
You can compile them yourselves. If you do them on your own, you can use the ones that you use. They do not have to be from a CPA or anything like that, but they do have to follow GAAP accounting principles. And if you create them according to those principles, which you can Google GAAP accounting principles, you can use samples and templates, and that's basically the format that you would use. But if you are creating your balance sheet, which is fairly straightforward, you can create it yourself. It doesn't have to be something that is created by a CPA. Your taxes, you may do your own taxes, or you may not. So everything just needs to be signed that is financial. And then if you have questions about financial documents, say you want to submit something, but you're not sure if it's right or not, you can shoot it to me. I'll let you know if it's right or not before it gets submitted. Because once we hit submit, then it's in the atmosphere. So I work with you to make sure that we're uploading the correct things. So you may have something that's almost along the lines of what's needed, but may need to be edited a little bit. So the financials can be fairly ABC as well, if you give me a call.
Great, thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to move on to the BGC. The BGC stands for Business Growth Collaborative. As I said earlier, I'm the BGC liaison for the Ohio Minority Supplier Development Council. And just a backdraft of the BGC was founded in 2014. It is comprised of 11 Cleveland nonprofits, which you can see to the right. And the 11 partners, we meet monthly, and we work together on a regular basis to basically come together and help businesses grow and develop, and to make sure they're successful within the Cleveland area. The BGC's vision is to catalyze economic growth in the city of Cleveland through more equitable wealth and job creation by simplifying the search process for diverse entrepreneurs and by connecting them to the best quality resources for their needs. And the BGC hopes to address the systematic economic inequality which hinders growth in our region. We all realize that businesses, especially small businesses, owners are going to go to the Urban League. They're going to come to us. They're going to go to ECDI, and they're trying to look for capital and money, investments, and things of that nature. So we figured, why not come together so that we can all work together and kind of help them in a one-stop shop, in a sense. So when you work with the BGC liaison, you're not only just working with that organization, but that liaison can put you into connections with all other collaborators for other needs. So for instance, you may come to be wanting to get certified, but you may need assistance with finishing your business plan, or you may need help with marketing, or you may need help with developing a website or logo, or coming up with a plan of attack for a new marketing, things like that. I can connect you with our collaborators in our network, and basically they'll take on assisting you directly with that need. So the BGC is a very powerful collaborative because honestly, we work together, but we're able to kind of help you full circle things. So whereas normally you might come to me and you tell me, I need a business plan. I say, oh, okay, that's great. Well, if I'm not helping you find that, or not helping you reach that, are we fully helping you? And that is why the BGC is very important, because now we can fully help you. So now that I know on the certification side, you are working on that business plan just in case you have to use that if you want to go to a buyer. That may come up, but I know where to send you to get that help at. And so it's a full circle system that really, really, really has helped a lot of businesses really pivot and scale up, especially during COVID as well. We're all in this together. So I really appreciate the collaborative and the work that we do. And I really love being a part of it. So the other great thing about the BGC is that we have funding through the BGC, the council does, to waive the certification fee for the first year. So that's an awesome opportunity if you are a startup or if you are established business and you're looking to get certified and you want to work with corporations and have a national certification, you can get it essentially for free. It is on a first come, first served basis, and you can contact me so we can get the process started. But once you get started, as I said, I will help you complete it. I'll help you the whole way. And then you will become certified and be able to, as the businesses were saying earlier, it's the ticket to get into the party. Is I mean, and we're trying to party business style and elevate your business and scale up the business to, you know, different heights. And so why not kind of get that free ticket if you can? So you can contact me. My information will be on the second to last slide. And I'm available to help begin the process if you want to get this fee waived. And so that fee is going to be waived through the BGC. And you have to be within the city of Cleveland, and there's some outlying suburbs that also qualify. Any questions before I wrap up?
I don't see any in the chat box, Shakara.
Alrighty. So I thank you for giving me this time today to speak with you all. I was on the call earlier, so I was able to hear a lot of the great things that you all are trying to do. Was able to hear some things about the businesses. So I really think that there are a lot of businesses within this presentation that can definitely benefit from a national certification or certifications period. Get all that you can get. But definitely reach out to us and I can assist you. If you have not thought about maybe having a certification that can work with corporations, as Tiwana Scott Williams said earlier, because she has worked with us as well, you never know who is looking for what. And in our council, we really did have a need to have certified minority caterers. We didn't have many, nowhere near many. So that was a great opportunity for her to kind of take the lead on, in a sense, but you are never know. So you should have it, because you can also tell a company, tell a corporation what you can do for them. And we call that dating the corporation. How do you date the corporation that you want to work with? So you just never know. Always keep something in the back pocket. And that's all I have for you all today.
Great information. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. You all have a wonderful day.
You do so as well.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone. So that wraps up our pre-certification workshop. Does ECDI or WBC, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to say?
I just want to say how proud I am for everyone who has taken the time to invest in themselves and their business to be a part of this training course today. And I'm glad Shakara came on, because we really are a united front when it comes to small business support and economic development, and making sure that people have access to the resources that they need to start and grow and create financial growth for themselves. So it's funny, because you can reach out to any one of us and you're going to get connected to the appropriate resource, either way it goes. So, if you guys have any questions for us as it relates to any of the services that we provide through the WBC, or if you're thinking you are ready to access capital, please don't hesitate to reach out, especially on the capital side. Although I am the director of lending for ECDI, I'm also the director of capital access for the Business Growth Collaborative. And so what that means is when you go through the BGC and you need access to funding, they're going to send you to me to figure out which form of capital is most appropriate for what your needs are, whether it be ECDI or somewhere else. So, I wish you guys the best of luck. I'm sure this is not the last time that we will be engaging with you all. And like I said, I'm happy that you took the time to be here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. If there are no more final thoughts, I will turn it over to our Director, Vaughn Johnson, and Richard Brown for any more final thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I wanted to echo Jasmine's and Shakar's comments about the BCG. The other thing I would add to that is we all have different experiences and networks, and there may be opportunities that somebody like Jasmine or Shakar can plug you into that we can't, and vice versa. So to everyone on the call, again, I echo those sentiments of Jasmine. We're very proud of all the entrepreneurs and stepping out and having confidence and being courageous to start and establish a business or continue your business through this time especially. So we applaud you, and we're here to help you 24/7. Reach out to us anytime, and thank you again for being a part of the workshop.
Any final thoughts, Richard?
Oh, just pretty much, we're glad everybody's here today and taking time out, like everyone said. It's a lot of great information that you received today. I mean, you got a lot of hands-on information from business owners. And like everybody else said, we are a resource. We're here to help and assist you in your business. So reach out to us if you need help, set up an appointment. We'd love to connect with you, set up a counseling session. April, get your contact information, set up a meeting with us. We're here to help you. And we're all part of this ecosystem together. So take advantage of the resources that are available to you to grow your business.
I put my email address in the chat box if you would like to get in touch with me to set up an appointment. But once again, this afternoon, I will be sending out an email with all the information that we went over with today. Also, a recording of today's workshop, so you can follow along. Other than that, thank you so much for being here, and everyone enjoy the rest of their day.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Everybody have a good day.